set? Okay. It is 4 o'clock on November 3rd, and I'm calling the special board meeting to order, and we'll start with roll call.
Charles Lance.
Here.
Kevin Boyles.
Here.
Tom Haglund.
Here.
Ruth Nelson.
Here.
Janice Shogren.
Here. Okay, we're all in attendance. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
For which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Charles wanted a little solo there. Little delay on the delay. Okay, so today we have one more interview with Mike Stanek, and he's here. Oh, first I don't think I need to do these announcements, but this will be recorded, and the recording will be published shortly.
Yeah, as soon as they can get it all with all 5 candidates,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. So we have, we need to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay. First from Director Boyles, a second from Director Hagelin. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh,
Aye.
Need roll
Oh,
call.
we need roll call.
Yeah, we have to
That's
roll
right.
call at least.
Roll call. Carla?
Kevin Boyles.
Yes.
Tom Haglund.
Yes.
Ruth Nelson.
Yes.
Janice Shogren.
Yes.
Charles Lance.
Yes.
Okay, all in favor? Thank you. So the agenda is approved. So,
Madam Chair, I cannot see. There's the B or the special board meeting icon at the front, or is that by design?
No, hold on, it's on the laptop.
Carla's
Can
working
you
on
see
it.
now?
Okay. Thank you.
okay, thank you.
Thank you, Carla.
So next up is we're going to interview Mike Stanek, and he is here, so you can come aboard, and you can take your face mask off if you're more comfortable. And there's water for you there, too.
Thank you.
So anyway, welcome.
Thank you.
And I'm going to start out, we're going to get right into this, and just tell us a little bit about yourself and what qualities you would bring to our board.
All right. Well, thank you. Hello and good afternoon. My name is Mike Stanek, and I'm honored to have this opportunity and be here today. I'm very happily married to my wife, Elsie, a registered nurse at Essentia Health, and without question, my better half. Keeps our family very grounded. I'm a proud parent of 3 young students in the district. I serve as an active duty National Guardsman with nearly 20 years experience with a combat deployment to Iraq in 2005. I earned a degree in elementary education and currently hold a substitute teaching certificate. Throughout the past 10 years, I've been active in the Brainerd Public Schools in both my professional career as well as a substitute teacher. I'm a true believer in everything happens for a reason. Just a few qualities that I bring to the experience are I'm very passionate about people, about children, about situations. I'm honest, sometimes maybe too much, I guess, but candid, open-minded, and willing to have challenging conversations in order to come to a middle ground where we can all be satisfied. In addition, I would like to address the recent emails that were sent to the Board of Education and the Brainerd Dispatch. At first, I wasn't going to address this issue, but by doing that, I wouldn't have been being true to myself of who I am. First of all, I'm an open book and address issues head on. Questionable retweets on Twitter going back 8+ years ago do not define my character. Everyone does not agree with every post a person makes on social media. I am not perfect, and I understand that I can learn, repent, and grow, just like everybody else. This very instance is why I applied for this position. I can take the heat that comes with this territory. I'd be willing to bet that everybody in this room, well, I figured there'd be a little bit more, but I'm guessing that those people watching this would also be included, that they've also posted stuff that hasn't been looked at in a positive light. Judge me if you will, but I hope that I'm judged on my whole person and not just based on a few retweets that was sent to you. Those that decided to read every single tweet or retweet that I've ever posted in over 12 years says more about their character than those few posts say about mine. Even though political perspectives may sway our moral and ethical decisions, I feel that politics don't belong on the school board, and that's what I truly stand for, is that we need to come together as a collective group, regardless of where we stand, to find middle ground for the betterment of people. Life is about self-reflection and growth, and that's what I plan to do. Lastly, if I'm chosen to represent the common folk of this district, or not, I will still have a positive impact by addressing concerns and continuing to collaborate with this very group right here. And with that, that concludes my answer to that question, and thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Good, thank you, Mike. Second question is, what are your top 2 reasons for wanting to be appointed to the Brainerd School Board?
First and most importantly, after working so hard to adopt our children through foster care, Elsie and I felt very compelled to become more involved in their education. This led to collaborative work with administration and the school board, some members of you we met with, to educate ourselves about the curriculum and the processes that take place with that curriculum. I have learned that even though there may be differences of opinion, it is imperative that we meet in the middle ground to find common ground. I would try to make this room more about coming together and less about divisiveness. Secondly, I'm not doing this because it's a bucket list item or if it's a bullet comment on my next resume. I'm doing it to give the students, educators, and general public of ISD 181 a voice. I feel they've been ignored and it's time to hear from their level, while not applying a national political narrative to Brainerd School District. Thank you.
Okay, Mike, when it comes to the board level decision-making process, what will your process for gathering stakeholder input and how are you prepared to support the mission of the school district?
I'm going to start to sound like a broken record with the collaborativeness and communication, but I truly feel that that's where we come from. I believe you always have to listen to both sides of a story and engage in educational and professional conversations in order to come to a moral and ethical decision. This board, and I've seen it, votes on difficult and emotionally involved topics. These people are elected or appointed in this matter to assist the administration in making sound choices for our district shareholders. Regardless of the final vote on any issue that this board comes to, I will support the board as a whole. I may not agree with the outcome, but due process was completed, and that's the awesome thing about being respectful.
Thank you.
Thanks. Mike, what do you identify as the major strengths of Brainerd Public Schools?
Major strengths of the Brainerd Public Schools haven't wavered from my application questions. Brainerd Public Schools has a distinguished history of both educational and extracurricular excellence. ISD 181 prides itself on community involvement and instilling the warrior way in its students, which cultivates a continuing culture of successful graduates as well as students. The passing of the referendum to upgrade all the schools within the districts will allow all students, again, all students, to have accessibility to a modernized learning experience. And this is a perfect example of how the district and community came together for the betterment of our students and staff. Thank you.
All right, next question. Explain your understanding of the responsibilities of a school board. What is an area in which the Board of Education can improve? How would you support the current board with this?
I don't know if we'll be able to see him to look him in the eye or not, but I'll just speak to the cloud in the sky. My understanding comes collectively from reading the district's entire Code of Ethics Policy 209, specifically Section 2, Paragraph B, Subparagraph 2, is that the board is to set policy and not implement it. The focus should always be on the student and staff well-being and substantially be educationally focused. And I know that this is just a snippet of that policy. However, I feel that it's imperative that people understand because it tells the role of the school board and administration in that policy. An area that still needs improvement is the transparency piece. Perception of a school board is everything, especially in the ever-growing community involvement in these school board meetings. We as a board owe it to the community and taxpayers of 181 to be transparent in the direct decisions affecting the students, teachers, staff, families of this district. My role would be to advocate for the students, staff, and parents of ISD 181. They are the reason we serve in this capacity. I would strive to remain impartial when recognizing our shortcomings in the district. I would help remind the board that we are a representation of those constituents. We should continuously reflect on the why we serve mindset and collectively come together as a whole to make those difficult decisions.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, what is your understanding of the opportunity gap between white American Indian students as well as other students of color?
First, opportunity gap and educational gap are two separate and deliberate conversations. Words have meaning in my mind, and that's how I perceive the question. Whatever opportunity gap that exists shouldn't exist if we're holding true to the policies that have been implemented in this district. In order to close the gap, the only way of doing that is by removing bias and working to educate population and correct our shortcomings. The topic needs to be a focal point. If the gap isn't closing, then it's our responsibility as a collective group to find a way to close and eliminate that said group. With that being said, regardless of the heritage and or of color of skin, we can instill a work hard, achieve more mentality for all of our students that fall under that umbrella. And to kind of talk about that, I would like to take 30 seconds here to read the Equal Opportunity Policy 102, Section 2, Paragraph A, the policy set forth by this board. The policy of the school district is to provide equal educational opportunity for all students. The school district does not unlawfully discriminate on the basis of race, color, creed, religion, national origin, sex, marital status, parental status, status with regard to public assistance, disability, sexual orientation, including gender identity and expression, or age. The school district also makes reasonable accommodations for disabled students. I feel as if we are pushing this policy and living by this policy, that in itself would remove that opportunity and educational gap, because we wouldn't need the extra assistance if everybody is on the same board and it doesn't matter the color of your skin or your origin or your history. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Next question is, what is the responsibility of the Board of Education in guiding efforts of equity and inclusion?
By the way, my favorite question on the entire thing. This question is the reason that Elsie and I started collaborating with the school and administration in the first place. As parents of a biracial child in the school district, we believe every student deserves to be treated with educational equity, dignity, and respect. There are currently some questionable curriculum using racial equity in elementary reading books versus educational equity. I believe the responsibility is to be able to differentiate between equity, inclusion, and equal opportunity. It's a fine line that can coexist in our small little corner of the world in Brainerd. We can have both together. As a board, we should be able to combine the equal opportunity and educational equity policies that the board has put in place in order to bring clarity and remove the division amongst the community. Thank you.
Mike, can you explain your understanding of the difference between governance and management, and what is the role of the school board in regards to public education?
Well, simple definitions, I guess, would tell me that governance is the setting of policy and regulation while having oversight of those policies. More or less, that would be the board member's role in this education, whereas management is the implementation of those policies set forth, and that understandably would fall under the superintendent and the administration's role. So again, the board sets the policy, the administration follows through and implements how those are going to take place. In relation to the board's role in education, again, they set, not implement. Also to establish goals and forward vision in order to have oversight and work with the administration to collectively give full opportunity to each student within the district to both equitably and equally succeed to their full individual potential. Thank you.
Communication with our community was brought up in several of the applications we received. How would you help to ensure that the board and district leadership are better reaching out to our community?
Under the confined policy, laws, and regulation that a school board has, there has to be, and we have to find another way to further communicate with the general public to take that wall down, as some would say. I would collaborate, again, with the community to bring clear and concise understanding of what the role of a school member actually is. I think there's misconceptions out there of what the roles actually are. Social interaction with community members and with opposing views should bring positive morale and a better understanding that we're all in this together. I would hope that with candid conversations, that the board and community could grow stronger together. I would hold the board and administrators accountable to share information and attempt to remove the perception that the board withholds information from the public eye. Thank you.
Question number 10. Tell us what your understanding of the time commitment is to be a fully engaged member of the school board.
Well, beyond popular belief that these representatives meet 2 times a month, that's just simply crazy. I understand there's far more responsibility in that. Self-learning, personal dialogue go further than just service conversations. Not only many school activities and functions, but that take place throughout the month, but all the emails, text messages, phone calls, it definitely adds up. Time is prioritization. By applying and interviewing for this position, I'm prioritizing this opportunity and the time needed to fulfill the responsibilities inherent in this role as a school board member.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So now is the time if any board member has any follow-up questions they would like to ask?
No, I think, just a little bit related to the time, and we've talked about it before, but, because some of the meetings are short notice or at noon, any issues with those kinds of attendance or?
The only thing that would come up is if I was at a pre-planned military function or whatever, but nope, I've got full clearance from the National Guard to serve on this board if needed.
Yeah. And speaking of, thank you for your service too.
Thank you for that.
Appreciate that.
Okay, and then do you have any questions for the board?
I guess just clarification on how a final decision would be made first, I guess I would like to say thank you to the 10 people that originally applied, because that says something about them too, knowingly, hopefully they willingly knew what you guys, some of what you put up with, so to speak, but it takes guts with lack of terms, takes guts to apply for a position like this. So regardless of who is chosen, 1, congratulations, and 2, thank you for stepping up to serve.
Yeah, we had excellent applications. It's going to be a tough decision. So as far as the process, you're our last interview. We interviewed 5 people now, so after this, we are going to vote. So, yeah.
Right.
So we will know hopefully by the end of this meeting.
Perfect. Well, thank you for the opportunity.
Madam Chair, one other thing that we mentioned to all of the other applicants was that, again, as Chair Nelson said, all 10 applicants I was really impressed, really. There was nobody there that I was just like, really? So what comes next is difficult for all 5 of us, right? For a whole bunch of different reasons. Primarily because only one person comes out of this with the appointment. But keep in mind, in November, less than a year from now, there will be 1 2-year seat and 3 4-year seats that are available to be run for. So we're encouraging all of the applicants that if you're not the one that's appointed and selected, to definitely consider taking a look at that, next summer for the election a year from really today or yesterday.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Okay.
Good reminder.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
We're good.
Yeah,
All right, thank you. Thank you.
okay, thank you
Thanks,
very
Mike.
much.
Thank you.
Okay, we have paper ballots for the voting, if we would like to do it that way. And we have an option, because there are 5 candidates, we can vote for just our top candidate first, and then if there's a tie, we would take the 2 people that tied, so that would be the most it would be, and then vote again. Or if you wanted to vote for your first and second candidate, and then we could rank them. So there wouldn't be a tie with whoever got the most second votes after the first votes. So I think either way works. Maybe we should just vote for our top candidate. Would be my recommendation.
If I had a mild preference, that would be it, and see how it turns out. With 5 of us, there really shouldn't be a tie unless there's, a 5-way tie with 1, or
there
2
could be
2s and a
2,
1.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, should we do the gold ballot?
Okay.
Charles, did you hear that?
Then we'll hand them into superintendent.
Yes, I heard that.
Okay, so
Gold ballot.
Yep, you'll need to go on to your gold ballot. And then you can Google it to me and I'll run it off.
Thank you. Good reminder to check mine. The date we want to use on this is today's date?
November
Okay.
3rd, yes.
Lane, I shared it.
Okay.
Let me know if it
I
didn't
got
share
it. I
properly.
received it.
Okay.
And I have sent yours to my printer in the other room.
I'll go.
You want to get it? Can you get in there, Carla? Do you need my key?
I can find all.
Okay. It should be on my printer in my office. Thank you.
And you know what Charles is, so I don't think we have to wait.
I don't, yeah, we don't. We have a candidate with a majority of the votes.
Okay.
And so, let's see, we will need to approve the resolution to appoint Sarah Spear to the Board of Education to fill Bob Nystrom's position as of today. So. And we will keep those on file.
Do you need a motion on that?
So you'll go to number 3.
Okay. Are we ready for that?
Yes, I think we are.
I would make a motion to approve that resolution.
I'll second it.
Okay. First from Director Sjogren and a second from Director Boyles.
I wonder if you should hit some of the high
Okay.
points of the resolution.
I can read it. Whereas Minnesota statute section 123B09 subdivision 3 states that a vacancy on the school board occurs when a member resigns. And whereas school board member Bob Nystrom resigned his seat effective October 10th. And the vacancy occurred less than 90 days prior to the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November in the year in which the vacancy occurred. And whereas the vacancy must be filled by board appointment at a regular or special meeting, and if the appointment becomes effective, it shall continue until election is held under subdivision 5B of, I think, that same statute, which will be the fall of 2022, no later than November 8th, 2022. And whereas the board has carefully considered potential candidates for the vacancy on the board created by the resignation of board member Bob Nystrom, it is resolved by the school district to appoint Sarah Spear to fill the vacancy and serve until a successor is elected and qualified. And the appointment will be effective 30 days after the adoption of this resolution, so her first board meeting will be December 8th? 6th, December 6th. So that was moved by Director Sjogren, seconded by Director Boyles. Any further discussion?
Just to reiterate that I was very comfortable with a large number of the people that applied for this particular appointment. It's impressive to know that there are other people like those in our community that are willing to step up and attempt to serve with us.
Yes, I agree. We had very good candidates, and it was a hard decision, so. Okay, anything else? Okay, we need a roll call vote.
Tom Haglund,
Aye.
Ruth Nelson,
Yes.
Jana Schogren,
Yes.
Charles Black-Lance,
Yes.
Kevin Boyles.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So congratulations to Sarah, and thank you to all the candidates, and thank you for your well-thought-out answers. And as Director Boyles just said, we hope that we hear from you again in the fall.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Now to adjourn the meeting.
yes. Motion to adjourn?
Sure.
Second?
Sure.
First from Director Hagel and a second from Director Boyles. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Roll call.
Oh,
All right.
wait, roll call. Thank you.
Nelson,
Yes.
Jana Schogren,
Yes.
Charles Black-Lance,
Yes.
Kevin Boyles,
Yes.
Tom Haglund,
Yes.